Okay, hey, what's up, everybody? Let's pull the live. Let's pull the chat up. We are live. Let's pull up the live chat. Chat box, hello. There we are. All right. It is Friday, everybody. It is the Friday just after Thanksgiving. And for those of you who might know or might not know, it is Black Friday. And I was kind of curious about Black Friday, and I'm definitely curious about how Black Friday got started. So, for tonight, we're just going to take it very casually, take it very slow. I've got a bunch of tabs up. I don't know what they mean, but we're just going to explore the idea of Black Friday, what it means, when it came about, and why it's so destructive. And why is Black Friday such a perfect example of like a shadow of the collective unconscious? Let's get into that tonight. But until we get started on our main topic, let's just hang out and say hello to everybody. Where are my headphones? There we go. Alright, so I see Cassie in the house. We got Cassie, our moderator, here. Thank you so much for joining us. I see Tyler. I see Imaginista, also known as Elise, who is also a beloved moderator in the house. Give a little hand to Elise. We got Lucifer. We got Hyperborean. We have Katrina. Anybody else want to shout out? My voice is a bit scratchy today. Oh, Renaissance Fairy. Hello. Good to see you. Again, if you're just coming in, today we are going to be exploring the topic of Black Friday. We're going to explore the history of Black Friday, why Black Friday is, and why is it so creepy? And why do people die during Black Friday? Stay tuned for more capitalist shopping disparities. Renaissance Fairy says, I don't shop on Black Fridays. I mean, I definitely stepped out of the house to grab some things today, but I guess the most of a sale I got was, um, you know how you get the big thick, like, candles? You know, like the big glass candles with the lids? At my local Rite Aid, it was buy one of those candles and you get two free. And I'm like, well, I'm just gonna buy one and then I get two free. Why not? So I did that. And now I'm happy because I have like a cinnamon roll smell. I have like some weird midnight ocean smell. And then some sort of like green forest smell that's like very piney, very Christmas like. Perfect for Christmas time. Just for the record, I don't care for Christmas. I really don't like it. But at the same time, I ironically decorate for it because the aesthetics kind of interest me. So I just purchased a small live tree this year, and I'm gonna post a picture of it. Not today, maybe next week, of how that looks because it's pretty cool. I'll admit, because I got like little Star Wars and Star Trek decorations. So it's a really nerdy tree. It's going to be a very nerdy tree. So maybe I'll post pictures of it next week. But I have to just put out a statement that I really just don't condone or really like Christmas at all in any really sense, except for the aesthetics. I just like how it looks. I mean, it's gay. It really is. It's gay, honey. Christmas is gay. It totally is. It's full of lights. It's full of wreaths. Poinsettias. I mean, like, there's nothing else about it besides it being gay. Wreaths, garlands, lights, poinsettias, flower arrangements, tree decorations. I mean, it is respectfully gay. And I mean that in the deepest sense of respect to the gays. Christmas is gay. Hyperborean says I got some white sage. For what? Anyways. So, my dears, I found this website. It's called BlackFridayDeathCount.com. I'm actually not sure how reliable this website is, honestly. Like, I honestly don't know. All I know is that I currently, at this day of the time of Black Friday, am really interested and entranced by the idea of Black Friday. Because to me, it's really creepy. Black Friday is really creepy to me. It's like, it's kind of on that level of like liminal spaces, uncanny valley, and then like Black Friday corporate shopping sort of mob mentality extravaganza. And I'm talking about like the deepest sense of like torturous thoughts you can think about Black Friday, like mobs and mobs of people strangling each other over a discount television. This is the kind of Black Friday that I'm interested in taking a look at. And I want to know where this comes from. Like, where does Black Friday come from? And why is it gotten to the point right now where it is so devastating to the part where people actually die during it. People are dying for consumption, for capitalist consumption. This is just weird to me. Like I said, it's on the set with their like liminal space and uncanny valley. There's this weird sort of like corporate capitalist shopping mentality vibe to where people will be in the moment, they'll be okay to kill somebody else over a deal, over a hot deal, over a discount television, over a discount this or a discount that. So this is the area that I just want to like talk about right now. And I guess this is just kind of like a really weird sort of, I don't know, creepy topic. So if you're not in the mood for something like weird and creepy that involves like people dying and stuff like that, I totally understand. This might not be the live stream for you. If you're not down for that, because I am really morbid in a curious way. I have a morbid curiosity and I like to look into this sort of stuff. I want to know why the concept of Black Friday, the very idea of it, just the center seat idea of Black Friday, of like catching a deal, catching a discount, leads you to not just an individual, but like a whole collective of people to act in a certain way where it really kind of disregards safety in general. It disregards the idea that somebody might be fucking hurt, you know? It disregards the idea that somebody could be injured during the process. So it's really creepy to me. It's really chilling. It's really bizarre how you can go from I just want a discount on a certain item, but not just do you think that, like all the people around you think that, so it becomes a mob mentality and people get stampeded. They get I'm not laughing because it's funny. Like it's sort of like a nervous like people fucking die from this shit. People get trampled. Mob mentality, like against a certain individual that has no idea what's going on, like it destroys them. I remember a certain incident in like 2005, and I think, let's see, where is it? What? They don't have it? Was it 2005? Or 2006? Salt Lake Tribune? Oh, here we go. I'm from Salt Lake City, honey. Let's go. Page not found? What? I'm not happy with that. Okay. (2006). See, that doesn't make any sense to me. I don't know how good this website is anyways, but I click on this and it goes to, let's see, page not found? What the fuck? Hold on, I have to blow. I swear there was this. My point is that I mentioned that I wanted to go back to 2005. This website only goes back to 2006, but I swear there was an incident in 2005 where somebody infamously like got stampeded to death because let's see. Hold on. Let's open up a new tab. Not like we don't have enough. Let's see. 2005. Yeah, this. Let's see. Los Angeles Black Friday is one of America's most polarizing holidays. I like how it says holidays in quotations because honestly, that's the only way you can describe Black Friday. It's like a quote unquote holiday. It's not really a holiday, but it's something that happens every year for sure that's iconic. Iconic to the point that we actually have a name for it, which is Black Friday. Let's see. The day after Thanksgiving, to some, is a day to relax and spend time with family. But for others, it's a chance to take advantage of sales from stores that are eager to kickstart shopping season. As you know, the only reason to shop this time of year is because of Christmas. It's kind of like my least favorite holiday, like I said. Even though I just explained that I've been decorating for Christmas, I like it. I like it aesthetically. I just don't like the concept of it. I just like the look of it. It's like looks great. Not into the meaning of it at all. Anyways, for almost 100 years, department stores have showcased their biggest displays on the day after Thanksgiving, helping to draw crowds. Philadelphia. Okay. Hold on, let me start the sentence again. For almost 100 years, department stores have showcased their biggest displays on the day after Thanksgiving, helping to draw crowds. Philadelphia police are credited with coining the phrase Black Friday out of their frustration at having to deal with the crowds in the 1960s. See, this is what I really want to know. This is what I really want to know is the origin of Black Friday. Like how did Black Friday come about? In the 1950s. Oh, this isn't interactive enough for me.
Black Friday. Sounds scary. And it was. Black Friday first referred to the collapse of the U.S. gold market in 1869. A century later, Philadelphia police used Black Friday to describe chaos and congestion. Downtown streets were clogged with hordes of shoppers headed to the big department stores. Retailers hated the term, but then tried to reinvent it. It was the day their profits went from red to black.
Okay, I have to restart this because I didn't actually have sound in my ears for the first part of it.
Black Friday. Sounds kind of scary. And it was.
Yeah.
Black Friday first referred to the collapse of the U.S. gold market in 1869. A century later, Philadelphia police used Black Friday to describe chaos and congestion. Downtown streets were clogged with hordes of shoppers headed to the big department stores. Retailers hated the term, but then tried to reinvent it. It was the day their profits went from red to black. So they said. Black Friday really started catching on in the 80s and 90s, pushed by the growth of big box stores. Today, it's all about bargains. And
Let's see. Katrina says, aren't the aesthetics of Christmas most taken from pagan and stolen, stolen from pagan practices? Like, yeah, totally. Hyperborean says, if many humans are willing to trample others just to get a steal on Black Friday, they're bound to do some really shady shit just to get an advantage over others. I mean, and this is what I mentioned earlier, like in the very beginning of things. I'm like, there's an aspect of this conversation where I think it kind of reveals something about the collective, like human unconscious. Like collectively, in the unconscious of humanity, there's a weird demon there that is very greedy. And it's this sort of greedy demon that's been taking over things a little too much that we really need to come together and overcome. But that's going to be very difficult, isn't it? That's easier said than done. And it's not like I'm going to have the answer to that to you right now in the live stream. By the way, I hope you have had a fabulous Thanksgiving, whether it was difficult or not. I hope you at least got something out of it. And I like to call this sort of like the leftovers Thanksgiving spectacular. It's not really an official special of mine on my channel, but it might start slowly, evolving into a yearly special where I do a Black Friday special, because I go live every Friday. So of course, Black Friday, the day after Thanksgiving. So I'm trying to figure out a way to make it a little bit of a special, I guess, where you bring your leftovers, from your Thanksgiving dinner, and we chow on that, and then we just kind of like talk about the aftermath of all that. Pretty much what I love about my channel, and if you haven't figured that out so far, is I like to shine a spotlight on atrocities and bullshit and things that are going wrong. And I don't mean to really come across negative in a sense, like where I just focus on really sad, dismal things. But I try to look at some of these things with a sense of reason and with a sense of like, hey, we can actually look at this rationally and we can figure out a way to overcome it. I can't do things by myself, obviously. I'm just like an estranged YouTuber. I don't have magical powers. But, hopefully somebody out there maybe is listening to this, maybe is listening to somebody else. I don't know. Hopefully somebody somewhere will help the situation. And I don't mean that in the sense that I'm like downplaying anybody here that like participates in our YouTube channel at all. No, everybody's fabulous. It's just, it's hard to come out and talk about things that are important and then try to be reasonable in realizing, I'm not reaching the whole world, but at the same time, perhaps I'll reach somebody that can really do something about it, do something about the problems in the world. Perhaps not. I don't know. It's a very nuanced conversation, and we can talk about that more in the future. But until then, let's try to get back to this Black Friday business, talking about like where Black Friday started to begin with, because I swear I had more tabs open. Alright, so the day after Thanksgiving, tons of shoppers and tourists head into the city. The Friday after Thanksgiving, ahead of the huge Army-Navy football game held on... Okay. So pretty much there was like a football event that was like the day after Thanksgiving, and so it pretty much there was a lot of events going on that would drive people in town to shop. And then eventually it caused so much like fuss that the police are like, this is like a Black Friday. By 1961, the term Black Friday caught on. So this is like started. So Black Friday started like in the 60s. That's kind of interesting. So at first it was negative. It was a negative term, but then retailers are like, hey, let's turn that into something that's gonna like work out for us. So they started Black Friday sales. The idea was to go... Wait, stop it. The idea was to go black after a year in red. I mean, I guess I had to do a lot with the economical, like, situations at the time. Obviously. Which led to what we know as Black Friday today. Now Black Friday is a weekend-long retail holiday. It is! In 2017, 174 million Americans shopped in-store and online. From Thanksgiving to Cyber Monday. And then oh God, and then there's that. And then we have Cyber Monday. It's not even enough to have Black Friday. We also have to have Cyber Monday too. I just don't even understand that. And these aren't even like these aren't even like original religious holidays, right? These aren't original religious holidays. These are holiday markers based on shopping, consuming, and capitalism. It's really this sounds like a very simplified like cliche conversation, right? Like I'm sitting here like capitalism. It's like, but it's true. It's like you really don't need to read into it anything beyond that. This is a weird capitalistic holiday, and it's creepy. It's creepy. It gives me that same creep vibe as Uncanny Valley and liminal spaces. It's like I don't understand why there's this fundamental need for humans to consume at this capacity to the point where like they'd be willing to trample somebody, or like you're gonna punch an old lady in the face for like a discount TV. I mean, in theory, or in aesthetic theory, that's kind of funny, but I would rather not.
This video is sponsored by NordVPN. Visit
Great.
to NordLocker. Every
Hey, Alyssa! Good to see you, honey. Kiss, kiss, hugs, hugs. Shout out to Von Grimm. Let's see, Cassie says... Oh yeah, something about a nonprofit. Anyways, back to the origin of
Every year on
Black
the
Friday
fourth
is so
Thursday of
weird.
November, Thanksgiving is held in the USA and around the world. The legend goes that in 1620 a boat of settlers landed in the New World. However, by the time they settled there, first winter had set in. It was too late for them to grow crops, and because of this, many of these new settlers
Let me get the captions.
didn't survive their first winter in what would become the state of Massachusetts. By the spring of 1621, the Native Americans of that area showed these settlers how to grow crops that they would have been unfamiliar with. This worked out, and by the autumn of 1621, these settlers had a bountiful harvest of crops, thanks to the help from the natives. The settlers were so thankful for this, they set up a feast along with the natives. The natives came along with deers and of course turkey to roast, along.
Okay, this is talking about... I don't think... Okay, I guess I'm confused because this guy's starting with talking about Thanksgiving, which is its own thing. But to me, Black Friday is its own separate thing. So the fact that the video is starting out with Thanksgiving stuff and Native Americans and people, I'm like, that, I mean, yes, that's going on, that's Thanksgiving, but like, as far as Black Friday is concerned, I'm not seeing where this is going, but I guess I should be more charitable. Let's see. I put the captions on, the closed captions, but I'm not seeing them. I like to be able to read things German. The closed captions are in German only. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
With cranberries and all kinds of corn. And this is the legend of the very first Thanksgiving, with this name of course coming from a combination of the words thanks and giving, as the settlers were thankful for the food and farming knowledge the natives had given them. As I said, this is the legendary origins of Thanksgiving. It seems the true origins might have been a little bit shadier. However, while this video relates to Thanksgiving, it's not that day we're talking about. Instead, we're interested in the day that follows Thanksgiving, which of course is known as Black Friday. Now, I don't know how popular Black Friday is across the world. While it originated in the USA, it has spread at least to the UK from my understanding. We don't even celebrate actual Thanksgiving, but beyond that I'm not too sure. So in case Black Friday isn't a thing in your part of the world,
I don't know why when I think about Black Friday, I think about the song Black Celebration by Depeche Mode. Just pops into my head for some reason. Black Celebration.
then let me explain what exactly this crazy day is. As mentioned, Black Friday is the Friday after Thanksgiving Thursday. This means that the day doesn't have a set date like Christmas or Halloween. This year, Black Friday will be taking place on November 29th. In 2020, it'll be November 27th, and so on. Black Friday is of course a day of mass sales in stores and online, with this sometimes resulting in hysteria and extreme scenes within stores as shoppers duke out to get the deals. Though what exactly is the history behind Black Friday? Why is it the day after Thanksgiving where stores break out their crazy sales? And of course, why that name? Of course, Black Friday is tied into Thanksgiving, which means this holiday has roots in the USA. As it's the day after Thanksgiving, it means that all major holidays in the US are now out the way, except for one. Christmas. The day after Thanksgiving is seen as the official start of the holiday season, and with this comes all the merriment that the holiday season brings. Christmas food, Christmas music, Christmas film, Christmas jumpers, Christmas markets, and most importantly...
Okay, so, I don't know. The day after Halloween, I noticed my neighbor put up their Christmas tree, and I'm like, that's not allowed. Okay, that's not allowed. And in my mind, for me, the time to put up your Christmas tree is the day after Thanksgiving. So let me ask in the chat, let's do a poll. Should it be the day after Halloween? Put up the Christmas decorations day after Halloween or day after Thanksgiving. That should be the poll. Because my neighbors put up their decorations the day after Halloween, and I'm like, that's a little too soon. Really, it's a bit too soon, frankly. Like, I could not understand it for the life of me. Like, why the day after Halloween? The day after Thanksgiving, I get it. Totally. Awesome. I wish Christmas could be something a bit more positive and fun. I wish it wasn't, like, completely Christian-based. I wish it wasn't so capitalist-based. I wish it wasn't so Christo-fascist friendly. You know what I mean? There's a part of Christmas that I want to like, but, until we come to a consensus as a human race about it, I don't think we're going to get there very soon. So the best I can do is, like, try to make it the meaning of it for myself and not make it so Christo-fascist. That sounds like a tongue twister, right? Christo-fascist. Christo-fascist. Anyways. Wow, this is like 100% vote day after Thanksgiving. We should not have, like, Christmas decorations up during November, right? Am I crazy, or should you not have shit up during November? I think you should wait. I think after Thanksgiving is perfectly fine. Okay? We're deep enough in November. We can deal with it. There's only a week left. We're almost there. Hyperborean says, whitewashed, Americanized pseudo-paganism. I know. It's true. Sense of Soul, hello. Says, so ridiculous they start playing holiday music earlier and earlier in stores. It's true. I don't know why, though. That's so strange. I mean, do you really have to extend the holidays to make more money? I guess that works. I mean, I thought the point of the holidays would make corporations enough money, but there must be some sort of strategy and some sort of reason for companies to try to extend Christmas, like, earlier and earlier. Cassie says, I leave my Halloween decorations up until this time, then put some away, and others get incorporated into Christmas decor. It's so funny. I was going through my Christmas lighting set, like all the Christmas lights I have, and there is one set that I forgot to put up for Halloween, but it's like a dark purple Christmas light sort of like setting, and me and my roommate were like, like, we have so much purple lighting. It's like, well, we were supposed to put it up for Halloween, but I guess we could do it for Christmas. I don't know. Just mix it up a bit. Just have some dark purple lighting for Christmas. This is Halloween. This is Halloween. Halloween, Halloween. It's like totally Halloween, like, does Christmas when you put up the purple Christmas lights. It's Christmas styled lights, but it's dark purple colored. That's why I'm calling them Christmas lights, but they're not Christmas lights. They're like Halloween lights, but it's that style of Christmas light. By the way, if you just come into the chat, hello, don't be shy. We're just talking about Black Friday, because it is Black Friday. We're talking about the origins of it. We're talking about holidays in general. We're talking about Thanksgiving, Christmas. We're talking about the end of the year. We're talking about whatever it is that's associated with where we are at right now. Um, it's kind of like a weird concept. Something about the end of the year just gets really festive and just really, I don't know. Holidays are weird. Holidays are weird. I like the concept of having certain points and times in the year where you celebrate something, like the harvest or the planting or, I don't know, winter, spring, whatever. But like sometimes as humans collectively, we celebrate the weirdest fucking holidays. And these are things that I like to examine and talk about. They're just very strange to me. Sense of Soul says, "This is my first time here. Glad to be here instead of shopping." Well, good to have you. Yeah, no, but don't feel bad. Hey, if you want to. Here's the thing. Look, I know Black Friday is weird, and ultimately I'm against capitalism and stuff, and this channel kind of like has that vibe. But if you want to take up on a deal, take up on a deal. Fine. Just please don't stampede anyone to death. I guess that's all I ask. If you can like take up on a Black Friday deal without like harming somebody else, that's all you have to do, okay? I mean, I got scented candles for my home like this. It was like buy one get two free. Fuck yeah. Like, I got my little deal. It's not bad. It's not like, but like, I guess like, this is where I like to have a conversation about capitalism and shopping and spending in general. It's like, honestly, I don't care what you spend your money on. If you have your own money, it's your money. You do whatever you want with it. I don't give a shit. And I guess that's the kind of like example I want to set with like, hey, yeah, fuck yeah, I got a Christmas tree. Am I ecstatic about Christmas and like totally Christian and into that thing? Fuck no, absolutely not. I'm just like, a tree is nice. It smells nice. Whatever. Put on some bulbs, some lights. It looks cool. I like it. There you go. Do people have a really deep sense meaning of Christmas? Oh, totally. And we could totally talk about that. We could totally talk about the meaning of Christmas, the meaning of a Christmas tree, how a lot of Christmas was taken from the pagans, things like that. I'm totally down with having those conversations. Um, so whatever you want, yeah, let me know in the chat, like what you like to talk about, what do you think about this time of year? Like, what do you think about shopping and Christmas and holidays and stuff? Like, I like to know what people think. Also, this is a very lax episode this week because I just really don't have much planned, and mainly because like I'm still in a coma off of eating stuffing. So Cassie says, if nothing else, Christmas is a nice break from the monotony of life. I can see that. I can see that some people enjoying the holidays simply because it does kind of take you out of a monotony of everyday life, and it makes things periodically like festive and sort of like aesthetically pleasing and enjoyable. It just kind of like signifies like the end of the year, things like that. I don't know. What does everybody else think about Christmas? Like, even if you hate it, let me know. If you want to type in the chat, like, fuck Christmas, like, do nothing, like, fuck the Christmas shit, fuck the patriarchy, like, fucking let me know. By the way, I hope everybody who did have a good meal for Thanksgiving and stuff, or whatever you want to celebrate. I hope it was delicious. I like food, obviously. If you want to let me know what you had or what desserts you had later, I'm going to have a piece of pumpkin pie. Towards the end of the stream, I'm going to eat pumpkin pie on stream. But that's at the end. We got a while to go. Sense of Soul says, I think it's time to make our own traditions and meaning around what we celebrate and stop following traditional conditions. I'm so over faking it. I think what you mean I think what you mean to say, or what I'm trying to get out of that, is that, there's certain ways that so far there are certain ways that we've been taught to celebrate Christmas as, but perhaps there's a way where we can evolve that and have it mean something different. And that, that's totally what I am all about. I am all about hijacking holidays and meanings and improving them and evolving them, not just desecrating them or just like destroying them just because, haha, I hate it or something like that. But I wish there was some things that we could just like, the positive things out of life that we can take and amplify and just do away with the rest. Because frankly, think about it. There's nothing wrong with lights. There's nothing wrong with lit up trees. There's nothing wrong with candles and cake and cookies and dinners and things like that. But it's like, what are we doing that for? Like what is the true meaning of things? I think these meanings can change over time for humanity. So, like, I don't believe that we'll ever completely erase things like Christmas from human tradition. But I do believe we have an opportunity to evolve the meanings of things and carry it forward as a torch of human evolution. Katrina Gatsby says rotisserie, Cornish hen in air fryer, and deviled eggs. Wow, that's crazy. That sounds good. Christmas sucks as a kid when your family is poor. Yeah. And see, that's what I mean. Like, the meaning of Christmas has room for improvement. I mean, even some of the seemingly benign concepts of Christmas has a way of hurting people. For instance, the concept of Santa Claus bringing gifts to children. And so it's like, oh, Santa Claus gives the best gifts to the good children. And so as a child, if you see other children getting like iPads and skateboards and all this cool stuff, and then all you get is like a candy bar and a rock, it kind of sets it in your head that, hey, you're not good enough. Like, you didn't do enough. If your family is like genuinely poor, it gives the sense that you're not worthy enough, you're not blessed enough to receive gifts from some sort of divine figure such as Santa Claus. So it sets up a premise that just really is not fair. It's like one kid is getting an iPhone for Christmas and you're like, great, but you believe in Santa Claus, right? And your parents are like, well, Santa's just bringing you some socks. And you're like, great, but Jimmy got an iPhone from Santa. Why didn't I get an iPhone from Santa? It's like, it really sets it up for disappointment. This is a weird thing about Christmas, about there's some aspects of it where I think it's very negative, but I wish we could like change that, change the meaning of it into something else, change it for the better. You know, there's so many Christmas movies and Christmas stories about like the real meaning of Christmas, the true like real meaning of Christmas, the humility, the humbleness, the giving, the charitability, and even within those contexts, it still sets things up, sets people up for failure. Because, like, kids watch movies about Christmas miracles, and then in their real life, they're like, where's my Christmas miracle? It doesn't happen. It's about as toxic as religion, honestly. The whole spirit of Christmas. You know what? We are diving deep into that this year. I'll tell you what, I think that's going to be my specialty for this whole month, is diving into the conspiracies of Christmas ideology. What do you think? Should we do that? Should we do that? Oh, hey, Vibrational. Vibe says yes. Cassie says yes. Katrina says yes. Let us pick apart the ideology of Christmas spirit this year. Let us figure this out because, you know, it's going to affect people in one way or another. But yeah, the whole spirit and concept of Christmas totally throws poor kids under the bus because they sell it as a spirituality, but in reality, like, the poor kids get shafted because they get the poor presents, right? They see other kids get iPads, iPhones, and like computers and cars and all this stuff, and they're thinking like, hey, why does Santa Claus not give me this shit? Like, ain't I a good kid? These are conversations that need to be had. Anyways, shall we continue?
Christmas presents. It's this day after Thanksgiving that people start buying gifts for their loved ones for Christmas. In the early 20th century, retail owners started to take notice of this trend, and this is when people started buying gifts for Christmas, and they latched onto it. It seems that retail and Thanksgiving are quite intertwined things over in the States, with of course the most famous store that publicly celebrates Thanksgiving being Macy's in New York. The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade is known throughout the world, with its huge balloons of beloved fictional characters and marching bands. I'm sure some outside the USA know of the Macy's Day Parade and don't even know it relates to Thanksgiving. It's just that well known. The first Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade took place in 1924, and from there the parade has become a mainstay of the festive season in New York City. Retailers like Macy's
I think I've like vaguely seen a few televised things of the Macy's Day Parade. Is anybody familiar with the Macy's Day Parade? It's just like literally by the company Macy's in America. They put on like a big parade, and it's at Thanksgiving time. It's kind of a weird thing because it's not really for it's kind of an infamous parade, I guess. They have lots of like blow up balloons and things. But I don't think I've ever actually really given a shit at any point in my life about the Macy's Day Parade. Katrina says, oh yeah, it used to be a huge thing in the 70s. What is the history of the Macy's Day Parade? Nope, we can't watch History Channel. They'll cut us off. Let's look it up in YouTube. Man, my internet is slow. My internet is slow. I don't have the greatest internet, and that's kind of like the problem of living. Like, I literally live in a forest. Like, I don't know how to describe it to people because, like, I live in a town that's like seemingly like a big city, but it's not. It's like actually really foresty. Like, it's really remote. It's it's very just like rustic. It's just a bunch of trees. It's a bunch of trees and just like really old buildings. Let's see. Why can't we learn about the Macy's Day Parade? Come on. Oh, please don't cut the... If the live stream cuts out, just stay in place and we will come back to it.
Didn't see you there. Well, let me tell you all about the history of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. I love Thanksgiving!
Why?
You just never know what to expect when clowns mix with floats and big balloons.
I don't know. Like, why? You're Asian. Like, what? Why do you love Thanksgiving?
Are added in to make up one of the biggest holiday spectacles in the country.
I don't remember a year that I didn't watch the Thanksgiving Day Parade. I mean, every morning on Thanksgiving we wake up super late, eat a big breakfast, and we get to watch our friends who are in it and all the cool floats, and it's just Thanksgiving for me.
It became very special for me in 2001 when I had the opportunity to be a clown in the parade. That's me with my best friend, and you can see my makeup was a little more
I know for a fact that that's really exciting for her, but just hearing that verbally, like, I got to be a clown in the Macy's Day Parade. Just thinking about the capitalistic, like, undertone of, like, or even just overtone of the Macy's Day Parade, that just seems really fucked up to me. I was a clown in the Macy's Day Parade. Yes, you were, in more ways than one.
Intense.
thorough than hers. It was amazing to go into New York and to be part of that so soon after 9/11. It was really just a special time. Yeah, the parade always brings joy to people, but New York really needed to have joy in that moment. So it was really exciting to be part of it. And being a clown, there's nothing more joyful than being a clown.
2 decades later, she's passing the red nose down to her daughter.
So my same friend who invited me to be in the parade in 2001 reached out to me and said, the Macy's parade, they're looking for teen clowns. And she said, would Scarlett like to do it? And I said, of course.
It's just really cool that I can do something with her that's almost like a family tradition. A lot of people don't get to have that experience to do something that their mom loves so much with their mom.
Well, I, for one, cannot wait to watch Rosemary and Scarlett in this year's parade. But before we look forward, let's look back.
The parade was originally started in 1924 and was put on by Macy's employees. It wasn't until 1927 when the parade introduced the big balloons. And lucky for us, we know puppet expert and historian Mancho Lopez.
Yeah, wasn't there some, like, fatalities with some of those balloons, though? I mean, seriously. Oh, I can't speak that high in my voice anymore. I gotta stop doing that. It's hurting my throat.
When the parade introduced puppets, the big balloons, those big balloons were designed and introduced by a man, a puppeteer, a master puppeteer called Tony Sarg, and he called them upside down marionettes.
Sesame Street and the Muppets have made appearances year after year, and they've been a symbol of keeping ties to the original puppeteering origins of the balloons. Another unforgettable character who has taken to the air many times in...
I swear there's been some Macy's Day disasters. I think we can end our poll. It's best to decorate for it's best to decorate for Christmas after Thanksgiving, not after Halloween.
Welcome back to Thanksgiving in the heart of New York City, and you are looking up 6th Avenue from our special parade camera, which sits high atop the New York Hilton Midtown.
The Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade often marks the official start of the holiday season, and this year it's scheduled for its 95th running, beginning at 9 a.m. on Thursday, November 25th. But over nearly the past century, this annual tradition in New York City has seen its fair share of parade balloon close calls and accidents. With each one of these massive inflatables not exactly always easy to navigate between the countless onlookers, keeping command of these enormous floating characters can be quite the undertaking. Here's 10 Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade balloon mishaps and accidents. Number 10, cat balloon confusion and incident. In the early years of the parade, the cat balloon was a vintage Goodyear-made balloon, making its debut at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, with some debate and differing views of its historical timeline. The balloon is often mistaken as the Felix the Cat balloon, with some sources reading Felix the Cat actually didn't debut until 1932, while many others state 1927. Who knows who's right? Anyway, the issue was, during the early years of the parade, they didn't put much thought on how to deflate the balloons. They figured they would just simply set them free, and when finished they would deflate naturally. This was an unfortunate assumption, as the big cat balloon gradually collided with some telephone wires and burst into flames. Number 9, bad weather pot pie. Now, some claim this story to be an urban legend.
Okay, these things look creepy. Is it me, or are these things like really fucking creepy?
Other accounts claim it to be true. Either way, the pot pie the Sailor Man balloon is definitely...
I mean, look at that guy. That looks fucked up. The face looks fucked up. The hands look messed up. He looks like, I don't know, he looks like he's about ready to fist somebody. In perhaps maybe a way that they don't want.
Real, and debuted at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1957. The story goes, rain at the Macy's Day Parade filled Pot Pie the Sailor Man's infamous cap and quickly filled it with cold rainwater. This became a body of swaying water awaiting to soak onlookers below at the slightest movement of this massive fictional character's balloon floating
So there's water inside of the balloon that's like
along the inner
sloshing
streets of
around?
New York City, and it did just that. The indentation of the balloon caused it to dump the ice-cold rainwater over nearby spectators of the parade. Is this real, or just a can full of spoiled spinach? Number 8, Rex the dinosaur. And
So it's like he barfed like water. Oh! Yo! I am having like a trip back into the past, like blast in the past. I vaguely remember this show. Totally. Does anybody else remember this? I swear to God, I've seen it like as a kid. Like, it was kind of a sad show. I feel like it ended sad. I don't know. I totally remember this though. Does anybody else remember this? We're Back show? Cassie says, hell yeah, the song is in my head now. I don't know what song you're talking about. I'm gonna have to go back and watch this show, because I don't think I vaguely remember it. Vibrational says memory unlocked. Right? Yeah, I'm totally unlocked right now. Alright, stay here. I gotta pee. Oh, I forgot about the pee screen. Totally forgot about the pee screen. Oh, my sunglasses. I'm blind. Okay. We're good. Anyways.
An animated film produced by Steven Spielberg in 1993 called We're Back, A Dinosaur Story met his demise via a not-so-strategically placed traffic light that connected with a prehistoric heritage nose, the longest balloon at 85 feet in the 1993 parade. The televised coverage that day would actually use video footage from the dinosaur's test flight instead of the damaged dino in action. With the film itself tanking in the box office, the balloon was also immediately retired from the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Number 7, Kermit the Frog.
Kermit! Don't fuck with Kermit.
I was born for Broadway.
There's no fucking with Kermit in any reason, and for any reason at all.
As you can tell, let's head back uptown. Bert and Felicia, let's hear all about it.
Well, I don't know if you can see it.
Surprise.
Kermit the Frog just came around a corner, almost stubbed his nose on the pavement, but I think he's flying right now. There he is.
Oh my
Kermit
fuck.
has been a popular guest of the Macy's Day Parade for many decades, but
Kermit looks like shit. I'm sorry. Kermit looks like shit. Kermit is looking like a green bean casserole right now. Like, Kermit is not looking like something that I would like to interact with. He looks like a motherfucking olive floating in the air, like a green Italian olive. The one that comes with your meatball sub that you don't really want to eat, but it's there anyway, so you just kind of like try to eat it and enjoy it, but it's like kind of like bitter and tart, and you're just like, whatever, I just want like the meatball sub. That's Kermit right now. Like, Kermit is looking like a bleached green bean right the fuck now.
1985.
Oh, Kermit. Prayers for Kermit. Prayers for Kermit. Honestly, just prayers for Kermit right now. Pray for Kermit. Pray for Kermit. Let's see. Do we have a frog emoji? Is there a frog emoji? Frog. No, there's no frog. Is there a frog emoji? I don't know, but we need frog emojis for Kermit. Poor Kermit. He looks like a green bean straight out of the fucking, like, can. Like, when you open up a tin can of green beans, like, that's the color of this Kermit right now. Poor son of a bitch.
It wasn't easy being green. The Kermit balloon ripped near its stomach area and began a massive green frog deflation.
He was gutted.
The balloon came dangerously close to the people on the ground and those trying to control it as it sank lower as the parade went on during live television. No one was injured, thankfully. Number
Look
6,
at that Kermit. That Kermit is just sad, bitches.
The hedgehog accident. Gradually floating.
Oh my god, thank you so much, Mistress Angelica, for the super chat. Prayers for Kermit, I know. And Mistress Angelica again. Happy holidays, everyone. Thank you so much for the super chats. I really appreciate that. Prayers for Kermit. Prayers for Kermit.
Down the
oh, now we're on to Sonic. Okay, let's go Sonic.
Parade route in 1993. The Sonic the Hedgehog's signature helium-filled parade balloon encountered some troublesome winds and veered into a tree, damaging its left arm and spike and leaving it dangling in the wind as it continued down Central Park West.
No, Sonic,
eventually,
no.
A gust of wind would cause it to collide with a lamppost at the corner of West 58th and Broadway. The impact sent a piece of the lamppost falling to the ground, and it broke the shoulder of an off-duty police captain. Number 5, bad luck for Superman. In 1985...
Dude, that Sonic, like, incident literally busted the shoulder of a policeman. Like, I don't care that they're a policeman, but it busted somebody's shoulder up. Like, literally broke their shoulder.
The Man of Steel revealed a kink in his armor when a strong blast of wind and a heavy downpour forced the giant balloon towards the ground and tossing it around as it traveled along the parade route. As his handlers tried to manage control, Superman would not so heroically fly into a tree, ripping his left leg open and then quickly deflating the balloon, missing his slot on the NBC parade coverage. The following year in 1986...
Look how sad that looks! I can't even with this visual right now. That is the saddest, mopiest looking, like, uninspiring motherfucker ever. That is so uninspirational. It's like, meh. Meh. Like, what kind of fucking balloon is this? If I was a child, I'd be like, fuck!
His triumphant grand return to the Macy's parade saw the man faster than a speeding bullet.
Jesus Christ.
Not quite fast enough.
Look at this bitch.
To dodge turbulent wind and nearby tree branches, causing him to lose his arm in a live deflation to the surprise of many parade attendees. Number 4, the Cat in the Hat. Another incident at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade involving a giant balloon and a lamppost happened again in 1997. This time, the character balloon involved with the accident was the Cat in the Hat. The balloon smacked a lamppost, sending a large piece of the post into the crowd and hitting a woman.
Oh,
this one was captured on video.
Suddenly, it knocked off a large section of the light, which then fell into a crowd of people standing on the sidewalk.
Huge wind gust came down, hit that light post right on top, sprung a big leak. A big chunk, about 4 feet long, fell right down to the crowd.
As handlers struggled to bring the balloon under control, police and EMS rushed to help 4 people who were injured. 2 suffered head injuries. 1 woman is in serious condition. This time again, high winds appear to be a factor in a more serious accident.
Wind plays an important role in this parade. It adds that all-important element of suspense.
The woman sustained serious injury and remained in a coma for over a month. She later collected $390.
Yo, just because of Dr. Seuss, you're in a hospital that long? What the fuck?
$5 million in damages due to the unfortunate happening. After the accident, rules for the size of allowable balloons at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade were put in place. Number 3, the cheetah plane incident. Way back in 1928, Macy's began offering a $100 reward for return balloons that they would just simply let loose and float away when the parade ended. In 1931,
That's not a good idea.
a floating balloon snagged
That's
a
gonna
pilot's
land
airplane
somewhere.
wing, leading to a ban on retrievals by airplanes. However, the following year, the recovery of the cheetah balloon that flew at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade in 1932 was being attempted by another pilot when it hooked onto the airplane attempting to recover, causing the plane to go into a tailspin. This accident led to stopping the release of balloons at the end of the parade.
Well, yeah,
Number 2, the
you
tipping
shouldn't
of
be
the
doing
Kool-Aid
that.
Man.
You shouldn't be doing that. That's a lot of fucking, like, plastic material that you're just releasing out into the air. Like, what the fuck do you think you're doing releasing that? That doesn't make any fucking sense at all. That's gonna land somewhere, bitches. In the ocean, it's gonna fucking wrap itself around a whale. You're gonna strangle a whale because of your, like, bullshit parade.
In 2010, the Kool-Aid Man proved to be too wide and unsteady.
Well,
Upon
no
its
shit.
inflation, and minutes
It's the
before the
Kool-Aid
start of
Man.
the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, it tipped over. Eventually, it would be reinflated and would end up making the lineup just in the nick of time, right behind Horton the Elephant. The following year in 2011, the Kool-Aid Man began a tradition and decided once again to tip over at the annual Thanksgiving Eve tradition known as the Macy's Balloon Inflation Celebration. And number 1, Spidey and Sam. The most awkwardly recorded happening of any Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade mishap might be this one. On 2012, during the inflation celebration,
That
the day
looks
before
creepy
the parade,
as fuck.
the process of inflating the balloons led to some rather uncomfortable still shots of the huge 20
Bitch, look at that. Spider-Man is fucking eyeballs deep in Uncle Sam's ass. Like, he is eating the shit out of his ass. Straight up turd burglar style.
78-foot long Spider-Man getting a little too close and personal with Uncle Sam. A viral moment that won't soon be forgotten when thinking of major mishaps that take place at the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to like, share, comment, and consider subscribing.
Alright, let's go back.
Many forms, is a very famous mouse.
So the Mickey Mouse balloon was introduced in 1934 through a partnership with Walt Disney. When you think about 1934 and the level of complexity of the balloons, it's very simple. Spheres, very round shapes. All of our balloons look like that.
Well, hey, Mark, good to see you.
Fast forward 2 years later in 1971 when we again came out with another Mickey balloon, much more elaborate, true to character, full color. And fast forward a couple more times, in 2000, we had band leader Mickey, which really led the parade that year, and 2009, Sailor Mickey. So we have quite a history with Mickey Mouse in the Thanksgiving Day Parade.
Well, we couldn't get an interview with Mickey, he's a busy guy. But we got to kick it with another iconic balloon character, the original Red Power Ranger.
Power Rangers has been around for about 28 years now, and
Okay. One in the chat if you were a fan of Power Rangers as a kid. 2 in the chat if you have no idea what the fuck this is.
for the first few seasons, it was the Red Ranger that everybody's really familiar with, the one with my character, with the big diamonds on the front and stuff, and the one that's actually in the Macy's Day Parade. I think that's because that's the one that's the most iconic, which is why it's the one that's in the parade. It's the symbol of like what Power Rangers is and was.
Steve's pretty humble when I ask why it was the red Power Ranger and not, say, the green one.
It was the one that started it all, and that's the one that people remember the most. And I think that's probably why it's the most iconic.
I remember the diamonds and the red power suit. It was like a, wait, what's the Power Ranger move? There's a stance.
Yeah, you could do it like, well, there's several different ones, but you could start with one like that, and then you take this hand and put it in a fist, put it across your solar plexus, and then the right hand, tuck your thumb in and turn it outward, elbow bent. Yeah, it's pretty good.
But we'll let Moncho give it to you straight.
So the Red Power Ranger debuted in 2014, and he got invited back all the way to 2019. So for 5 years straight, the balloon was.
I think they put out a brand new Power Rangers movie like a few years ago, and it wasn't too bad, from what I recall. It wasn't too terrible. It wasn't perfect, but it wasn't bad.
Part of the parade. I think that one important aspect here is that these balloons actually are like a celebration, a confirmation, a validation that a character matters.
So Moncho, what you're saying is the other color Power Rangers don't matter.
Don't get me in trouble. Look at that.
Just kidding. According to Rick, the real reason is that...
Oh, fuck. Hey, thanks for the super chat, Morg. Says I wasn't allowed to watch it. I'm sorry. I think that's what you're saying. I wasn't allowed to watch it. I wasn't allowed to watch it. I'm sure that's what you're saying. Because it had an evolution and some demonic villain or something? I know what it's like to grow up religiously, so, like, my brain can immediately connect the dots of, like, why it would be bad. But that's ridiculous. I'm sorry. Power Rangers was, like, that was a pretty amazing show.
The balloon is red.
Red is really synonymous with Macy's, so we couldn't be happier that it's the red Power Ranger. Red is actually my favorite color, so I can't imagine it being any other color.
With more than 8,000 participants, including the nation's best marching bands, clowns, large performance groups, fantasy-filled floats, giant character helium balloons, and thousands of Macy's employees and volunteers, the parade is a wondrous spectacle of pomp and pageantry.
Regular parade watchers always have their favorites.
You just realized that you were like 10 minutes behind the stream. It happens. I do that shit all the time.
Olive Oil was our tallest balloon, and I would argue probably our lankiest balloon. And SpongeBob's...
Dude, Macy's Day Parade is so weird. Like, why do we do this?
SquarePants was actually the first ever square balloon, which is a feat of science when it comes to creating balloons which want to be round.
Right, actually that must have been really hard to engineer.
The balloons have actually been an evolution of science and in mathematics and all of those things that are reserved for people smarter than me through the years. And we've really come to a place where we can create virtually any shape through rigging and patterning that actually is able to recreate those iconic shapes of characters.
And then came the pandemic, and everything changed.
Yeah.
But not the mission.
There are pinpoints on the timeline of history, right, that we always refer back to. In 50 years from now, the question will be about what happened during COVID. And these are those pivotal moments where we actually shined. And we continued with a parade, a tradition, even when it was next to impossible, because it was so important.
In fact, there's only been one moment in history when the parade didn't happen.
When the parade had to, unfortunately, be suspended due to a shortage of helium and rubber during the Second World War.
When it returned, it marked a turning
Oh, that's
point.
weird. So, like, there was a point where we didn't have a Macy's Day Parade, not because of like the pandemic, but because there was a helium shortage, like back during the Second World War.
For the parade.
That's
So
cool.
when the parade came
I mean, it's
back
not cool,
in 1945,
but you know what I
it
mean.
actually was a pivotal moment. Not only was it a celebration of the return of the parade, but it was also the first televised Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. And we've been in families' living rooms ever since.
Which brings me back to 2021. Arguably another moment in history, another turning point for us all.
The 95th parade, like every other parade, is special in that it's always something new. It's actually a reflection of what's happening in the world.
In a lot of ways, it feels like the year of 9/11 because we're living through such difficult times with the pandemic, a time when I think traditions are more meaningful than ever, but also just we need these moments to be happy and to feel joy, and so we're both looking forward to that.
Oh, special. What was it? Were we watching before this? So I guess there are some Black Friday issues going on today. I believe there was a recent shooting. I got a lot of tabs open. I'm just like trying to figure out like they're all like associated with Black Friday, but they're all just kind of like random. So I'm not sure like how to create like a consistent like narrative of Black Friday for you all. We might just devolve right now into just watching random videos. Mainly because it's kind of like a holiday sort of stream, so let's see. Released 8 hours ago.
We're going to turn now to the new alert from law enforcement about Black Friday shopping. Both protesters and criminals are threatening to disrupt the biggest day of the year for many retailers. Our Jacqueline Lee joined us now.
Oh, you know, it's so interesting. More and more these days, we're getting these incidences of like flash mob robberies where like a bunch of people will like enter a store at the same time and then all of them start like grabbing stuff and taking it out. I got some interesting thoughts because like, I don't know. I don't condone or encourage like jumping into a store and stealing like that. You know, I don't condone that sort of behavior. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for corporations that get stolen from. Because they're not really hurt and they can afford it, and who gives a shit, right? So I have a lot of mixed feelings. So I'm not quite sure how to feel about these certain situations.
Now from Los Angeles. Good morning, Jacqueline.
Hey, Michael, good morning. Law enforcement across the country are scrambling to combat these brazen robberies happening at big box stores. And I mean, these numbers, they are skyrocketing. Obviously, today is the busiest shopping day of the year. Take a look at this. The LAPD posting this video asking for the public's help after a flash mob stormed this Nike store. You can see them stuffing trash bags with goods and getting away with more than $12,000 in merchandise. The California Highway Patrol is actually joining forces with other units to conduct raids. Take a look at the merchandise they recovered. More than $350,000 in 2 locations in the Oakland area. Now, this problem is costing retailers more than $112 billion in losses in 2022. That's a 19% jump from the...
I just like, like I said, I don't condone stealing, but I don't really give a shit about the losses of the company. Like, I really fucking don't. Like, I don't give a shit about a bunch of sweaters and the loss of that sale. Like, it's not really that much to these stores. Not that much at all. But I'm not sitting here saying, hey, go out and, like, steal a bunch of shit, like, participate in, like, mob robberies. Like, obviously don't do that. That's not safe. But I have a hard time feeling bad, right? Like, I have a hard time feeling bad about corporations who are losing a handful of sweaters.
Year before, according to the National Retail Federation. And on top of this, law enforcement is bracing for pro-Palestinian groups protesting at major retailers across the country. They're trying to bring more attention to calls for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. Whit.
All right, Jacqueline, thank you.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live events.
Oh, German in Venice. I watch this YouTuber here and there, German in Venice, and I got some mixed feelings about him. Because, like, on the one hand, I kind of like his content, and on the other hand, sometimes I question what he films. But anyways, just take it with a grain of salt. I want to hear what he has to say about Black Friday. It's kind of an interesting guy.
In the morning, and I'm sitting right in front of 7-Eleven, drinking a piping hot caffeinated beverage.
Caffeinated?
And you probably thinking, what in the world is the GIV doing in 2 o'clock in the morning in front of 7-Eleven? Today is Black Friday. I've never done this before. When you're a content creator, you got to be ready all the time. 1 o'clock in the morning, 6 o'clock in the morning, whenever you think there could be a story out there, you're out there doing the story. And like I said, today is Friday, Black Friday, and I always heard that people line up in the middle of the night to get the best deals in the morning. And today I want to go to the Citadel outlet store and check out what it's like to sit in line all night long to get the best deals on Black Friday.
Okay, for what? Like, are you actually buying stuff, or are you just, like, hanging out for the vibe, man?
You want to see it? Let's go. Wait a second. Before I go, I want to show you the Powerball is 340 million. The Mega is 308 million. Huh. How nice would it be if you win $340 million? It's nice to dream about it. I already played, so you never know. If you're not in it, you cannot win it. I have no idea what to expect. Maybe nothing is going to happen. Maybe I'm just wasting my time going there. But if you not try, you will never find out. So you gotta go.
Let's see.
We're
skipping ahead.
2. I like to go all the way up because you got some really good view from up there to see downtown. It's almost 3 o'clock in the morning and the parking lot is packed. I'm on top of the parking structure. If you come here during the day, it's really good view of downtown Los Angeles. It's a little bit too dark right now and too foggy. They got
This dude calls himself German in Venice. He actually films a lot of stuff on Venice Beach in Los Angeles, California.
Got the lights out just like a movie premiere. The big Christmas tree. And look, even that parking lot over there is totally packed. And you see all the people down there? 3 o'clock in the morning. Let's go check it out. Holy moly. Oh, they're all waiting to go into gas here.
Jesus, look at all those people.
Lying that Tommy Hilfiger here.
This is at 4 in the morning. 4 o'clock in the morning, and these people are out here trying to get deals. Like, this is insane.
Nice palm trees.
Like, people are literally sacrificing their sleep over this shit.
Tommy Hilfiger. I thought they're gonna open tomorrow morning and everybody's just sleeping here outside, but I didn't know that the stores are open already in the middle of the night. Man, where do you stand? This line, Diesel, Uggs. Inside True Religion, everything's 50% off. But you gotta wait a long time to get to the cash register here, even if you find something. Wow, it is so hot in here. I have to go outside. I can't be in here.
Right.
Best Buy on Black Friday. Where is everybody? Here's the parking lot at Best Buy. Check out JCPenney on Black Friday to see how foot traffic is going inside the store. This is the inside of the JCPenney on Black Friday. Don't see anybody here.
Because frankly, I don't think stores really do Black Friday sales like in shop anymore. I think everything's pretty much online.
Saw that these kinds of events, along with the approach of Christmas, drew in the shoppers. So a lot of retailers decided, in something of a gentleman's agreement, to start their sales on this day. The sales started on this day but carried on throughout the season. There was this single day that had the biggest sales and drove in the most customers. This trend carried on, and by the 1950s, many shoppers were calling in sick to work on the Friday after Thanksgiving. Instead of working, they would go shopping to get a head start on Christmas gift buying. And by 1966, the name Black Friday, in association with the Friday after Thanksgiving, was first recorded in print in an American stamp collecting magazine of all places. And from here, Black Friday has evolved into the behemoth that it is today, with shoppers going crazy to get the best deals before anyone else does. Though this shopping bonanza wasn't the first thing in history to be dubbed Black Friday. The first Black Friday had nothing to do with shopping for a cheap television, but was the name given to a financial crisis. In the 19th century, Jim Fisk and Jay Gould, two Wall Street financiers, brought a huge amount of US gold, hoping that the price of gold would soar and give them a huge profit. However, by September 24th, 1869, the US gold market crashed and left many on Wall Street bankrupt due to the actions of Fisk and Gould. This day that the gold market crashed was a Friday, so this event in history became known as Black Friday, way before shoppers lined up at midnight around 100 years later. So how did the actual Black Friday we all know today get its name? Well, this relates back to that stamp collecting magazine that houses the first written recording of Black Friday, as we mentioned earlier. You know, it's crazy the things that this job leads me to talk about sometimes. I never thought I'd be uttering the words stamp collecting magazine in that order in my life, let alone on a video that we see by literally dozens of people. But anyway, an article from this stamp collecting magazine spoke of the Philadelphia police. The article talked about how large crowds of tourists and shoppers entered Philly on the Friday after Thanksgiving to take advantage of sales going on in the stores of the city. These droves of people led to overcrowding in the city's shops, traffic jams, shoplifting, and just chaos in general. Due to this madness, police officers were unable to take the day off, and they had to control the masses in the city, so they referred to this day as Black Friday. Due to how dangerous it got, and because of the negative connotation the colour black has, so we had police officers in the city of Philadelphia to thank for the name Black Friday. This seems to be the genuinely agreed upon story as to how the Friday after Thanksgiving became known as Black Friday, though a few other folk etymologies have become prominent. One of these ideas comes from the times when stores in the US recorded their accounts by hand. When they did this, profits would be written with a black pen and losses would be written with a red pen. Obviously, with the huge sales of this Friday, the black pen would be used quite a lot, hence the name Black Black Friday. While this doesn't seem to be how Black Friday got its name, it's a fun idea, and it's where the phrases of being in the red/back when people talk about their financial situations comes from. What isn't as fun, however, is the fake etymology for Black Friday. It sprouted out of the internet around 2014. This fake story explained that the name Black Friday came about because during the slave trade in the USA, slave traders would sell their slaves at a reduced price on the day after Thanksgiving. Though, like I said, this is just a made up story that made its way around the World Wide Web. Though the huge success that is Black Friday has created other days around it with unique names. Some of these days piggyback off the success of Black Friday, while others are retaliations to the day. Following Black Friday, we have a day that's become known as Small Business Saturday. Black Friday deals usually roll around huge chain stores and big online stores reducing their prices. So Small Business Saturday was established to give, you guessed it, small businesses some of the limelight of Black Friday. It doesn't seem like any kind of day has been made out of the Sunday following Black Friday, but of course we now have the popular Cyber Monday, which focuses more on online deals than ones in actual stores. Honestly though, I despise this name, especially the cyber part of it. Cyber has to be one of my least favourite words. To modern ears it just sounds super corny and should have stayed in the 90s with terms like information highway and surfing the web. The word cyber itself comes from a shortening of cybernetics, which was coined all the way back in 1948, coming from the Greek kyberman, which means to steer/pilot a ship. What has cybernetics got to do with controlling a ship, I hear you asking? Well, cybernetics actually means the study of communication and control, so it seems to relate to this control part of the word. Though after Cyber Monday we have Giving Tuesday, a day which is supposed to be the reverse of Black Friday, where we should all help a good cause or charity that we care for, to make up for the indulging we partake in over Black Friday and the holiday period in general. Finally, however, some people start to celebrate a different day entirely on the same day as Black Friday.
Why even do that, honestly? Why even go through the process of Black Friday and this, that, and the other just to get to like Cyber Monday and then like Tuesday where it's like, oh, we want to give back. It's like, why can't we just cut to that directly? Does that make sense? Like, why can't we just cut to the charity directly and start giving to people rather than going through this process of like having Thanksgiving and then like Black Friday and Small Business Saturday and Suck My Ass Sunday and then Cyber Monday and then a Charity Tuesday.
And that's with a Buy Nothing Day. I'm sure from this day's name you can understand the gist of it. It's been created as a day to retaliate from Black Friday, in which not only do you not buy any Black Friday sale items, but buy nothing at all. So if you want to treat yourself to a shiny new thing at a discounted price, help support a cause you care for, or simply buy nothing at all, it seems that there's a day for any of those things during this time of year. Though, speaking of Black Friday sales, NordVPN, who very kindly sponsored today's video, have some great sales of their own going on right now. Say you are out looking for deals.
No, we're not going to listen to your NordVPN thing.
On your device, make sure your internet connection is secure no matter where you are browsing. Hacked, the VPN tunnel was not breached, and their apps were unaffected. However, the incident is still being handled incredibly seriously by Nord. They're taking steps to not only make sure their service is more secure than ever, but even bring up the industry standards. This is with actions like moving to 100% owned servers, building a committee of cybersecurity thought leaders and experts, and even introducing a bounty program that will reward cybersecurity experts for catching and reporting potential vulnerabilities. Nord have even said on the matter that we will come back from this even stronger. We owe it to you. NordVPN also allows you to bypass any restrictions that may be present on the web in your part of the world. They're 24vpn.com/name explain, and by using the under free subscription to NordLocker, an encryption tool.
Okay, I think that's it. Thank you. Thank you for the incredibly long ad. So, you know, some people have actually died during Black Friday, just getting like mobbed on, and like people just literally like stampede them.
He collapsed in the store, and witnesses say shoppers and store workers didn't stop to help.
Where is the Good Samaritan side of people?
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be breaking down the most insane Black Friday catastrophes.
He was like running around with his belt, like swinging it at people, and then like out of nowhere some guy came behind and like jumped on his back and just started choking him.
For this list, we're looking at shocking events that have turned a shopping holiday into utter madness. From riots and stampedes to parking spot disputes gone wrong, nothing good ever seems to come from Black Friday. Share your thoughts in the comments below. Urban Outfitters riot, Thousand Oaks.
That is so dumb. That is gonna
Thousand Oaks is in California, by the way.
go viral, Jerry.
Before Urban Outfitters was even open for Black Friday in 2011, the Thousand Oaks Mall in California was packed with shoppers. The mass of people remained surprisingly calm, at least until the first employee walked by the gate.
Oh gosh.
The initial shouting had a note of celebration, but the mob's screams became deafening as they rushed through the entrance.
Oh gosh.
With the crowd pouring in like a zombie horde at Brains R
Yeah.
Us, you can see
That looks insane. That literally looks insane. The way people are pouring into that store.
anti-theft sensors bend and break under the weight of the swarm. With all the damage done, it's a miracle no one was injured at the Thousand Oaks Mall. Towel turbulence. Various.
You can disturb me all you want. I love towels.
Also in 2011, a horde of shoppers at an Atlanta, Texas Walmart lost their minds digging through towels. Glorious towels of all things.
Towels?
Oh, y'all, some towels for real. Over some towels, y'all. Over some towels.
The eager beavers tore through the crates like it was the end of days, and absorbent fabric was the only way to stave off a presumably soggy apocalypse.
Why would you need like 50 towels? Like, you're just asking to create laundry problems for yourself. You're just asking to do an endless cycle of towels. Like, why the fuck would you grab that many towels? Like, for what? Okay, I could see, like, grabbing, like, maybe, like, 5 towels. Okay, let's say you really want to stock up on towels. Grab, like, 5 towels or something. But, like, 30 fucking 50 towels? Like, what the hell do you need those for?
Some shoppers even ended up in the bins themselves, while one woman dramatically tore free of the cloth-mad crowd with her sweet, sweet prizes held aloft. While we all love a good sale, you'd think these towels were gold-plated, diamond-encrusted Ferraris in disguise. Towels continue to be a top seller on Black Friday, with similar outbursts a regular occurrence. Tesco turmoil, England, UK. 2014 was such a hectic Black Friday for the city of Manchester that police were called out to 7 Tesco locations around the city. 3 people were arrested for violence, and hundreds of others refused to leave a store even though all stock was gone. Useful fact: you can't buy things from an empty store. Another Tesco closed within an hour of opening due to fights and injuries from a falling television set.
Oh my god.
There were chaotic scenes at Tesco's in the rest of the UK too, with one customer in Cardiff reporting that people were even biting each other in scuffles that could have even American black.
Yo, people were biting each other just like, what the fuck? Are you fucking serious?
Friday blowouts a run for their money. Waffle riot, Little Rock, Arkansas. We love waffles.
A waffle riot? Oh my god. Only in America. Only in America do we have a fucking waffle riot or anything that could be described as a waffle riot. This is truly American here. Anything to do with waffles or like a Waffle House, like that's it. It's pure American. Are you fucking kidding me? Of course, a waffle riot. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
But there's gotta be a line somewhere. In 2011, $2 waffle irons transformed Walmart shoppers in Arkansas into a seething sea of waffle-loving monsters.
Oh, waffle iron.
The Little Rock store saw people ripping into the bins like it was feeding time at the zoo, with some emerging from the shrieking, heaving mass, holding as many as 6 irons at a time. It's like the mosh pit at a metal concert, but no one's having a good time and everyone hates each other. Oh, and everyone is there to...
For what? What do you need 6 waffle irons for?
To see waffles?
I love waffles. Let's go there.
Gift certificate drop. Torrance, California.
A gift certificate.
Right.
As part of their 2006 holiday sales promotion, the Del Amo Fashion Center in Torrance, California dropped 500 gift certificates from the ceiling in balloons. 2,000 people showed up, however, which turned the friendly event into a vicious free-for-all. The resulting stampede left 9 people injured and 1 elderly woman hospitalized. The mall's staff was completely unprepared for this reaction and called in the fire department. One teen was seen vaulting over picket fences and holiday displays to escape the out-of-control crowd. Not really worth it for a $25 sushi voucher.
Free sushi? Oh yes.
El Paso Showdown, El Paso, Texas. How badly do you really need that 50-inch TV? Enough to trample an old lady? To take a swing at a cop?
Oh, stop it. It's just TV.
Shoppers at this El Paso Walmart in 2015 thought so. Overwhelming police. People battled it out around the television pallets, shoving and punching, and one 23-year-old man even trampled an elderly woman before an officer pulled him off. The crazed shopper fought back before the cops were able to overpower him. Similar melees were filmed on the floor, with the elderly going at it just as hard as the youngins. Sneaker madness, Vancouver, British Columbia. When an Adidas store in Vancouver, British Columbia was offering a rare NMD Bape shoe on Black Friday 2016, things got a little crazy. The masses got so rowdy ahead of the store opening that chants and fights started to break out. With the streets already crowded from nearby bars and clubs, police were called to the location. Eventually, a man took his shirt off and started whipping people around him with his belt.
Police arrived on scene shortly after this shirtless man started using his belt like a whip and arrested the man.
After another civilian choked him, the man was eventually arrested. The incident was so out of hand that Adidas called off the sale and raffled off the shoes.
This man just like committed assault over shoes
instead.
Quite a few people in the middle of the road just fighting. I don't know why.
Marine injured at Best Buy, Augusta, Georgia. Corporal Philip Duggan, a U.S. Marine Corps reservist, was volunteering at a Toys for Tots stand outside a Georgia Best Buy when things went from festive to violent. Unbeknownst to him, Tracy Attaway had been found inside the store attempting to steal a Dell laptop. After giving up on the computer, Attaway bolted, defending his exit by brandishing a knife and knocking over at least one employee. When the man ran out of the store, Corporal Duggan clotheslined him, but in the resulting skirmish, Attaway sliced the man's back.
Corporal Duggan's first thought?
I really can't believe he messed up my uniform.
Although the wound was not life-threatening, Duggan was hospitalized, receiving 3 stitches, while Attaway was charged with aggravated assault, possession of a weapon, and armed robbery. Owing to his 30 priors, Attaway eventually earned a life sentence. Walmart brawl sends cop to hospital. Rialto, California.
Police say that around 6:45, a fight broke out between 3 people in line outside.
When a Walmart in California decided to open an hour earlier than planned on Thanksgiving night, mayhem followed. With as many as 5,000 people on the scene, customers got competitive, and no fewer than 3 fistfights broke out. While 2 occurred inside the store over products, another kicked off outside, allegedly because someone cut the line. When one man got out of his car to throw down, police attempted to stop the brawl, which didn't go so well for at least one cop. Raymond Rice, who was on parole, put up more of a fight than expected, resulting in a broken wrist for the would-be arresting officer.
There was some tensions that flared up, reference people cutting in lines. A fight broke outside the store between 3 individuals.
Police did manage to arrest Rice while the officer required medical care.
Jesus.
Police tackle allegedly shoplifting grandpa, Buckeye, Arizona.
Are we gonna get in trouble for this?
No, if someone says anything,
Just tell him that your grandpa's old and doesn't know what he's doing.
Gerald Newman and his grandson, Nicholas Nava, were video game shopping at an Arizona Walmart when they were pulled into a bout of Black Friday madness. According to Nicholas, customers were fighting over the games when Newman tucked one into his waistband for safekeeping, only to be questioned by police for the maneuver.
Oh, that sucks.
One of the people saw my grandpa put the game in his shirt and then told the officer, and then that's when the officer flipped them and then handcuffed them.
Reports conflict about what happened next. Police said the man resisted arrest. An on-scene CNN reporter said he was fully cooperating, but all agree that Newman was then taken to the ground by a police-issued leg sweep.
Are you sure that was necessary for shoplifting?
Out cold for 10 minutes, Newman required 4 stitches to the face before being jailed for shoplifting and resisting arrest, while shoppers accused the police of using unnecessary force. LA Walmart pepper spray incident, Porter Ranch, California. If you're gonna bargain hunt, come prepared. One 32-year-old woman did just that when she hit up the Porter Ranch Walmart in Los Angeles in 2011.
There was a lot of people who got it in their eyes, so they were burning, they were screaming, crying. Yeah, it was bad.
Armed with pepper spray, the shopper let loose on her fellow customers when a crate of video games was being unwrapped. As many as 20 people were sprayed, and other minor injuries occurred due to the ensuing panic and confusion. Stranger still, amid a crowd fighting for half-off games, Wii's, and Xboxes, the woman managed to pay for her purchases and slip out of the store unnoticed, eventually turning herself in a day later. While the police didn't necessarily accept her self-defense claim, they also didn't have enough evidence to charge her, and so she was free to walk and spray again. Late night mugging, San Leandro, California. The shopping high for cousins Christopher, Rafael, and Javier Murillo didn't last long. After the cousins left a California Walmart, robbers in a Buick rolled up and demanded they give up their haul. When one of the alleged muggers, Tony Phillips, tried to steal Rafael's gold necklace.
Yeah, Elise says, what a horrible idea. Pepper spray in the closed space, trapped among a bunch of people. Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? You go shopping and there's a bunch of people around trying to catch up on a bunch of deals. And there's a little tuffle. Like, do you really need to bring out your pepper spray? Is that necessary? Because I don't think it is.
Phillips' accomplice, Detwan Watson, then fired a gun at Christopher, shooting him in the neck, just missing his carotid artery and leaving him in critical condition. Watson then fled in the Buick, leaving Phillips behind and subdued by the cousins. Phillips was arrested on site, but Watson became the subject of a manhunt and was arrested 2 weeks later. Fortunately, Christopher survived the ordeal, while Phillips and Watson faced charges of armed robbery and attempted homicide. Woman trampled in stampede, Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Oh, I heard of
In
this one.
2005, an especially rowdy crowd in Grand Rapids, Michigan, charged into Walmart when it opened at 5 a.m. and knocked a pregnant woman down. As seems to be a running theme on this list, customers continued to push through as she lay on the ground.
The mad dash into a Walmart store knocked shoppers to the ground near Grand Rapids, Michigan at 5 in the morning.
Aside from the 13-year-old girl who was trampled and hospitalized for her troubles, it seems that no one else came to the woman's aid, nor did they help the poor lady who was also trampled and lost her wig in the melee.
I cannot feel bad about you losing your wig. I'm sorry. Never mind the pregnant woman. Never mind the woman who's pregnant. Like, never mind being pregnant. Never mind being that woman who's pregnant. Your wig is the biggest travesty in this situation. I gotta rewind this.
Walmart store knocked shoppers to the ground near Grand Rapids, Michigan at 5 in the morning.
Aside from the 13-year-old girl who was trampled and hospitalized for her troubles, it seems that no one else came to the woman's aid, nor did they help the poor lady who was also trampled and lost her wig in the melee.
It's all about this. It's been all about this.
Sleep-deprived father crashes car, Palo Alto, California. Black Friday 2012 was nothing short of tragic for the Tendell family. driving home from shopping and operating on 3 hours of sleep.
Here's the thing I was saying. I mentioned it earlier. I made the comment. I'm like, people are sleep depriving themselves over this. Like, and here we go. Here's the results of somebody sleep depriving themselves over getting a sale on Black Friday.
Arvind Tendel nodded off just before 7 a.m., crashing his Lexus SUV and rolling it multiple times. Tendel survived with injuries, as did his wife and 2 of his daughters. Jesus. However, daughters Nisha and Sheetal were thrown from the vehicle and killed. Neither had been wearing a seatbelt, and all 4 daughters had been crammed into seating for 3, as the SUV was packed with their purchases.
Damn.
Meanwhile, a police officer was roadside helping some folks change a tire when the Lexus struck his car, injuring the officer and causing the cruiser to hit one of the motorists, bringing the total to 2 dead, 6 injured, and earning Tendel 2 charges of vehicular manslaughter. Parking spot dispute, Tallahassee, Florida. Tensions were so high outside a Tallahassee Walmart in 2012 that customers were fighting over parking spaces rather than discounts. After 2 couples got in a—
Yeah, I believe it. Fighting over parking spot. Do you know how fucking pissed off people get about parking in cars and shit? I'll tell you what, I've been in some situations with cars and parking and shit and confronting people. I'm surprised I haven't been shot. Like,
a heated argument outside the store. One man pulled out a gun and shot a man and woman, who were rushed to the hospital. Another customer reported dozens of shoppers running inside during the shooting, in an attempt to avoid gunfire. Things must have escalated fast, considering the assault happened at midday rather than the usual midnight rush. Luckily, the victims were not critically injured, and were treated for non-life-threatening injuries at the time. Toys R Us spat, Palm Desert, California.
And the investigation here is continuing, and there's a great many answers to questions that can't be answered at this particular time.
You never expect a trip to Toys R Us to end in a shootout. Things in Palm Desert, California began around 11:30 a.m. when 2 female customers got into a verbal spat that soon became a physical conflict. When one of the women was hurt, the men they were with drew handguns, with one man firing into the air and then at the other man. The 2 chased each other through the store, with a reported 5 or 6 shots fired in the process. When the pair reached the checkout, the showdown ended with both men killing the other. Although the store was packed, no one really knows what set the 2 couples off, but it was reportedly not the result of competitive shopping. A fatal mistake. San Antonio, Texas. After dropping his wife off at a San Antonio Walmart, Isidro Zarate went to break up a fight in the parking lot. As he watched a man hold a woman's hair and beat her, Zarate drove up and said, quote, "Take your hands off her." The 21-year-old assailant immediately pulled out a gun and fatally shot Isidro. Zarate's passenger was injured with shrapnel, and an additional pedestrian was hit by a stray bullet. The shooter was caught 10 miles away and later sentenced to life in prison. The merciless shopper killing is even more tragic, considering Isidro left behind 4 children, and all for simply trying to help. Deadly Walmart stampede. Valley Steam, New York. Shortly before a Long Island, New York Walmart was set to open for Black Friday 08, customers, lined up in the hopes of scoring deeply discounted flat-screen TVs, began hitting, shoulder-checking.
What is that movie they keep showing clips from with Arnold Schwarzenegger? Like, I can't even fucking remember.
Shot Isidro. Zarate's passenger was injured with shrapnel and an additional. Deadly Walmart stampede. Valley Steam, New York. Shortly before a Long Island, New York Walmart was set to open for Black Friday 08, customers, lined up in the hopes of scoring deeply discounted flat-screen TVs, began hitting, shoulder-checking, and pushing
Jingle
at
all
the
the
store's
way?
glass
Okay.
doors.
But let me open it up. Come on, it's freezing out.
Employees tried to contain the situation, but the crowd burst in, taking down seasonal worker Jimmy Damour in the process. Hundreds trampled Damour, and even pushed through the police and paramedics tending to him. Within an hour, Damour had died, but shoppers were not deterred.
It was uncalled for.
Additionally, 4 other people, including a heavily pregnant woman, were also injured, with police calling the whole situation utter chaos. As a result of the tragedy, Walmart promised better crowd control in the future, but as we've seen from today's list, that hasn't always panned out.
What bothers me is Walmart trying to put the blame now on the customer.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Target shoppers let a man die. South Charleston, West Virginia.
What? I believe it.
Unique night in retail.
By all accounts, West Virginian Walter Vance was a well-loved, compassionate man. But that compassion was not returned in Vance's final moments. A 61-year-old pharmacist with a history of heart problems, Vance ventured out into the excitement of Black Friday 2011 shortly after Target's midnight opening to buy more Christmas decorations for his store.
Those who worked for Walter Vance say around Christmas time, he was the exact opposite of a Scrooge.
Sometime soon after, however, Vance collapsed while the herded masses of shoppers not only passed by, but stepped over him as he lay dying.
Wow.
An off-duty paramedic was an exception, as was a nurse who attempted to give him CPR. But for everyone else, Vance was little more than an obstacle standing in the way of cheap merchandise.
Great. I mean, I'm just going through all my tabs right now, and I'm, you know, just more or less like the same stuff. Of just like how crazy people go on Black Friday. To the point where they'll even like step over and just like trample and kill somebody and not even bat an eye at it.
Tonight, thousands of people will be running to get a good deal because we are just hours away from Black Friday.
And although many of the stores have already started their Black Friday deals, they're going to extend their hours tomorrow, and then even more deals for you in-store shoppers. Carlos Aceto joins us live from Commerce tonight. He's got more on that. Hey, Carlos.
Happy Thanksgiving. This is the calm before the storm. I haven't seen the Citadel this slow in a long time, and that's only because a handful of stores are open at the moment. The rest, like Calvin Klein, they won't open until 8 o'clock. But check things out. It's decked out for the holidays. The festive lights, they're on. It's Black Friday on a Thursday. The Citadel outlet's getting ready to welcome crowds of shoppers Thanksgiving evening, well into the weekend and beyond, just in time for the holiday season. Select stores like Gap and the Fragrance Outlet have been open all day. The rest don't open
the
till
Fragrance
8 o'clock.
Outlet
until 4 in the morning. So
I mean, who actually cares about wearing perfume and like cologne anymore?
We're going to turn now to the new alert from law enforcement about Black Friday shopping. Both protesters and criminals are threatening to disrupt the biggest day of the year for many retailers.
Yeah,
Our Jacqueline Lee joined us now from Los Angeles. Good morning, Jacqueline.
How likely are you to die during a Black Friday sale? Okay, yeah.
Are you ready for Black Friday? This year
This will be our last video of the day. When did this come out? 6 years ago? Okay.
Will be on Friday, November 24th, a date which will no doubt see a certain kind of modern-day madness hit the streets. It starts the Christmas shopping season, and between Black Friday and the holidays, around 30% of all retail items for the year will be purchased. In 2016, an astounding 154 million Americans bought stuff online and in stores, spending $3.3 billion in total on Black Friday alone, according to Adobe. Over 3 days, shoppers spent as much as $7.23 billion, with retailers such as Amazon and Walmart rubbing their already smooth as silk hands. The average shopper didn't hold back, spending $289.19 according to the National Retail Federation. On the downside, 3 people died and a handful of others were seriously injured. On that note, welcome to this episode of the Infographic Show. How likely are you to die during a Black Friday sale? Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell button so that you can be part of our notification squad. First of all, why is it called Black Friday and not White or perhaps Pink Friday? There are a lot of theories out there, but according to those Mythbusters at Snopes, it doesn't have anything to do with race. Rather, says Snopes, it originated around 1951 when the negative color of black was used to refer to millions of workers that called in sick after Thanksgiving. The term was later used in relation to the chaos of people shopping on that one day, given that they'd taken a day off. The day was a traffic nightmare and a pain for the police. Hence, the cops were largely responsible for calling that particular day black. In recent years, deaths and injuries and fights over such things as Lego pirate ships and cheap Hello Kitty socks have added to the black epithet. Nonetheless, the
Okay, so where's the part where, like, we can likely die?
Celebrating Black Friday. These include Australia, Canada, China, Mexico, New Zealand, Japan, Romania, Norway, the Netherlands, Ukraine, Russia, India, Pakistan, South Africa, and more. In 2016, a riot broke out in the latter country over toilet paper that was going for cheap. The biggest shoppers, in the US anyway, are millennials aged 25 to 34, who account for 56% of all sales from physical stores in 2016. This group also accounts for 62% of online sales. That also means 8 out of 10 millennials went shopping that Black Friday. A frenzy for the most millennial consumer perhaps, but for retailers, it's their bread and butter with a cherry on top. Walmart said in 2016 that Black Friday and Thanksgiving had been bumper days, with Thanksgiving being the online shopping day. On Black Friday itself, Walmart said that the biggest sellers were game consoles, TVs, toys, drones, and believe it or not, pajamas. Other companies that do very
This is very informational, but it's also kind of obnoxious.
well out of surging crowds are Target, Macy's, JCPenney, Kohl's, Foot Locker, Best Buy, American Eagle, and Urban Outfitters. According to Adobe, some of the biggest sellers throughout all stores included PlayStation 4, Microsoft Xbox One, Apple iPad, Samsung 4K TV, and Lego Creator Sets. According to research, one of the biggest things that drives sales nowadays is shopping via smartphones, with Target stating 60% of its online sales coming through a mobile device. Walmart said 70% of its Black Friday sales were made via mobile. Overall, from total sales for Black Friday 2016, 55% came from mobile, which was 45% via smartphone and 10% via tablet. While everyone seems to agree that foot traffic is falling, there are still millions of shoppers that prefer the old school shopping approach at brick and mortar stores. You may, however, get caught up in a melee, or worse. From the 3 deaths that occurred in the USA in 2016, one was a shooting in a Walmart parking lot in San Antonio, another was a shooting.
There's a current shooting going on now. I swear to God. Okay, this will probably be the last thing we look up. I guess a couple of shootings. Well, that's not good. A loud noise prompted people to run from Crabtree Mall on Black Friday. Relay police said that it was not gunshots. Okay. Police are trying to determine if there's a connection between a pro-Palestinian protest and the loud noise. Interesting, yeah, because there is a lot of protesting going on, like, right now, like pro-Palestinian protesting, so it's interesting to see how that, like, inserts itself into the mayhem of Black Friday that's going on already. But there is, like, a Walmart... Just give me a video. I don't want to read anything. Because my voice hurts right now.
We're going to get right to the Black Friday Blitz. ABC's John Schriffen risking life and limb at a Best Buy store in Levittown, New York. Good morning to you, John.
Josh, good morning. The store has been open for about 7 hours now, and as you can see, there's still a pretty good sized line right now. But if you think this is bad, when the store opened at midnight, they had about 1,000 people ready to swoop in on the doorbuster deals. Retailers tell us today they're ready.
Let the shopping, the saving, and the shoving begin. From grabbing for video games at this Walmart in Georgia, to fumbling for flat screens at this Best Buy on Long Island. Nationwide, those hours of waiting in line overnight,
33 hours out here,
transforming into this
Police have just arrested the man wanted for a Black Friday shooting at a Walmart. 26-year-old Jarrett Lowry is being held on $1 million bond and facing a number of charges, including assault with a deadly weapon. Officials say one person was shot in the hip following an argument inside the Walmart store, but has since been released from the hospital. No one else was hurt.
Okay, so somebody got shot in the hip. Days after a mass shooting at Beaver Creek Walmart that injured 4 people. See, this is what I was looking at earlier, I guess. Just after a mass shooting at Beaver Creek Walmart that injured 4 people, the store was reopened. The store is reopening its doors in time for Black Friday, okay? So just 4 days ago, there was a mass shooting at this Walmart, and then they're like, hey, we need to open the doors. And I guess the employees aren't happy about that. And frankly, I don't believe them. Employers are saying, everyone I've talked to is either saying, no, I'm not ready yet, or saying, I wasn't even asked. For a lot of people, this was not what we want. We were not ready for this. We are being forced. Anyways, alright folks, look, Black Friday, hey, if you want to grab a sell or a deal, that's fine, but if it gets to the point where you're trampling or harming or participating in, like, mob mentality, you might want to think about your priorities here. Anyways, with that said, enjoy your weekend. I thank you all so much for coming and hanging out with me and doing the leftovers thing. I actually did not get to eating my pumpkin pie. I'm going to do that after the stream, though. So, anyways. Good to see everybody. Lilith, thank you for coming. Amanda and Penny Suggs, thank you so much for coming. Kate Paul. The Slaps. And thank you, special thank you to our moderators, Cassie and Elise, for keeping our chat room chill. Thank you, Tyler, for coming. Good to see you all. All right. Take care, friends. We will see you another time. Thank you so much. We'll see you next Friday. Take care. Mwah.